Hello everyone, my name is DreadKyller. Um, okay, I must talk for a moment. Where is the chest? Just a second. I'm trying to find the bonus chest right here. Um, an interesting thing was going on with my previous world that I went to. Okay, about several weeks ago, I posted a survival server, not server, but a survival series video, and I started to work on it a little bit. I went out one day to explore the terrain around it, and my goal was to find some spruce wood. At least one spruce tree to allow me to do some more complicated buildings that I wanted to do. I like the look of spruce. Unfortunately, with the large biomes, the way that just happened to work out, I searched for 2,000 blocks radius of everywhere around the base, and not a single one. I found several desert temples and villages, and raided them and got a lot of stuff out of them, but I had no spruce at the end of it, and I really wanted it, so I'm sorry to say that I'm going to have to restart. We weren't that far anyways, so it shouldn't take too long to get back to where we were. This one is still a little bit of a different world than usual, and I'm going to real quickly just go over some of the changes I've made. This is using the customized world settings. The dirt, gravel, granite, and diorite pocket sizes have been decreased, so they're not going to be as much per appearance. Inversely, andesite pockets were increased. Andesite is my favorite of the new materials, so I decided to increase that because I feel like I'm going to be using that a bit. Granite, diorite, and andesite now are only found below Y level 50. The reason I did this was to prevent it from appearing on the surface and making some strange looking things, because I don't like the way it looks on the Extreme Hills M, where there's the exposed stone. Ore spawn rates were increased a little bit. This is don't forget that this is going to be primarily a survival building series, so I want to kind of avoid grinding for materials as much as possible. But I've only increased it by around 1.5 times, so I'm still going to have to do quite a bit of grinding off camera to keep it kind of realistic, because this is a survival series second. Lapis was increased a bit more than the other ores, because I'm going to be using lapis later on a lot. It's a great block to work with for some focus. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know what focus is. It's great for focus in a lot of different styles. It fits many themes. Also, most ores, including iron, will not be found above the surface unless the surface goes down below like 55. I also didn't want ores really making the terrain look strange, so I've lowered those. So we're going to have to go caving to find them. We're not going to be able to pick them off of mountains. And also a few other miscellaneous settings were also changed, mostly a little bit with the generator settings and noise. They were only slightly changed and not much, so you'll see the terrain here looks actually quite normal. The height scale was increased a little bit, so the terrain might be a little bit higher than usual, but that's about the main changes that were made. So, without further ado, I'm gonna try to get some supplies. So that's an interesting terrain generator. Yeah, you can already see some of the crazy terrain generation that's going to be occurring probably throughout this. I don't know what variable I changed that creates this type of terrain, but this is kind of like, you know, back in like 1.8 and 1.7 on beta. Not 1.8. There was no. Yes, there was 1.8 beta. But 1.7 beta was like the last time that there was any significantly crazy terrain generation in this game. And I like that with the custom terrain you can actually tweak some settings in just a little bit, and you can get some really crazy stuff. So I don't think I want to build in a savanna again, or a desert. This looks way too familiar to me. I'm gonna go back over here. There was a nice plains area and some swamp. gonna see if I can find a nice location before the sun set down and try to start doing a little bit of mining, clearing out. See what we can do. Okay, the plains is over there, and I guess I'm gonna have to eat a little bit because I can't really run anymore. I shouldn't be running this much first off, but I'm kind of trying to get a little bit of a quick start because I don't want to keep you waiting too long. So I'm probably gonna look for a space off camera, and I'll be back with you pretty soon once I start to set up a little bit of something there. I'm gonna just kill these sheep because I want to get a little bit of wool. It'd be nice to get a bed early on so I don't have to wait through the night. And since they're relatively cheap to make, and I started out right next to some sheep, I'm just going to grab a little bit of it. It's too easy. Oh, and by the way, I think I should mention, I am testing out the name changes. I am a developer for a few servers, so I decided to try to change my name to Error404. It was available at the time. I had to go for about half an hour, and when I came back it was unavailable, so I had to think of another one, and I tried Error401. So, if you're wondering why my name is Error401, that is why. I do plan on changing it back at the end of the 1 month reservation period, so do not worry about that. Oh, an apple. Yes, I have a little bit more food, and also I have some mutton, so I guess that's not really as important as it could be. Let me think here. I haven't really started doing anything. I just decided as soon as I stopped recording, basically, that I was going to just real quickly make a bed. Because I don't want to be stuck here during the night. Why did I make 2 of those? I only needed 1. Because they make... You know what? It's kind of like the grey wool would be the pillow in this case. I wish you could actually color the bed. Like, this is the sheet color, this is like the blanket color, and this is the header color. That'd be a really neat change that they could make. I really gotta stop saying like, gee. It's just like something that I keep doing whenever I don't have anything to think. Whenever I'm thinking about what I'm gonna say, I end up saying It's something a lot of people do, and it's just something that takes a lot of time to get over. So let's see, we're going to, I think over here where these mountains are will be good. We can build something into the mountains. So I'm going to look around a little bit more, and unless something important happens, I will be back in a little bit. Okay, I think I have found something. Over here there's a swamp, and a little bit of water going over here. And then if you follow this path around and around, there's more water, more water, more water. I think this would be a nice place to like pass a boat through to get to our little area, which would be set up around here on this mountainside, or hillside, not mountainside. Those are definitely not high enough to be mountains. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to build the first settlement around this area, and we're going to work on expanding that and lowering it to allow us to pass boats through it. And that's how we're going to get here from other places. Bunnies! There's so many bunnies all over the place. That is good, because I was trying to miss the ones that were around our base the last time. Well, hopefully we don't find any of the hostile ones. Those ones are not good. They're not fun. Okay, well, I'm going to find a place to set up the first house, and I'm going to start doing a little bit of mining, I think, because, well, I have no materials, I have no weapons, I have 2 pickaxes, which is nice, but I'm going to be moving to stone as soon as I can, so. And the sun is setting, so it is about time to start it. I'm probably going to start the first house over here. It's a little bit out of the way because it's going to be a temporary house. It's probably not going to look that good, so we might as well not have it in a primary area. So for a little bit of a collection, we'll have like some mining operation here, maybe even a quarry. Dig a quarry down in this area. But this is exactly where I didn't want the andesite and granite around. I guess I should have maybe lowered the dirt down a little bit too. The dirt, I said, oh my god, dang it, I'm doing so good at that. The dirt patches Um, I might as well stop trying. The dirt patches are different than the dirt in the rest of the terrain. The dirt patches I was talking about earlier with the generator settings are the ones that are found under the ground. So, our spawn is now over here, which is good. So we're going to set up a quarry around this area at some point, but we're not going to do that at the moment. I'm just going to dig in here. So I'm going to collect some materials, and I'll be back. I'm gonna get you, creeper. Gonna get you. Okay. So hello everyone. I got a little bit of iron. Didn't get as much materials as I thought I would. But I got enough. For the moment, at least. Enough to give me an iron pick or two. Probably going to need two because I'm probably going to go through them pretty quickly. I didn't do a ton of mining, and that's enough for me to get a full set of iron armor minus the boots. So that is not bad. Let me make a few stone axes though, because that's one thing I'm going to need to do. I keep forgetting to make the stinking sticks, so I'm just going to make a bunch of them. There. See if I forget now. You want to die like your friend did? I see how it is. 'Cause you are stupid. There you go. Now you are dead, just like your friend. There we go, 2 axes. And I'm gonna probably start chopping down some trees. The first thing I want to do though is actually place this crafting bench in a reasonable location where it's gonna be semi-permanent. So I'll place it over here. And be very careful to make sure that nothing ends up going through that door. But I want to actually put a door there. I love how they give you 3 of them now. That is good. And we have a chest, which is wonderful. Means I can place that right here and store a bunch of my miscellaneous stuff in it. I'm gonna need that. Organizing things, this takes us a second or two. That seems pretty good. I'd say that is pretty good. I will maybe take 2 stacks of cobblestone. There. Perfect. Now let's be careful. So, let's probably show you what I did. I did record it all, so I might have included clips of me cutting out this tiny little room here and starting to mine out some of the resources. There was some coal here, some iron scattered around. There actually was not as many ores as I would have hoped that there would be. But we have a tunnel going all the way down, three high when you're walking forward, 4 high if you're just standing still. Tunnel going down all the way to bedrock. In fact, I'm going to raise this by 1 block so I can just walk above the bedrock all the times. This is level 5, good. And we're heading out. Now, some people say that they find dark oak trees to be quite easy to chop down. I disagree. People say that these are some of the better ones to use. I think spruce, mega spruce is by far, in my opinion, the easiest to farm wood in the game. Because unlike the jungle trees, they do not have the branches which make you have to stop and try to actually break. Losing some words here. And just like the jungle trees, these dark oak trees also have some branches which make it kind of annoying and make it a little bit inefficient to mine. Hello, bunny. Man, they're all over the place in 1.8. Like, bunnies must be one of the most common mobs in the game. Like, seriously. Okay, so the dark oak wood, I like it. It looks like it's a washed out version of spruce. It is darker, but at the same time, it actually looks like it has a little hint of gray to it. If you set it right next to spruce, you'll see that the spruce is much more brown. This is more watered out. Maybe I'll do that at some point just to show the comparison, because I've talked to some people about it and they are unable to see the washout compared to the brown. Some people say this is more brown than the other one. I disagree. They say this is more red than the other one. I disagree. But that might just be my opinion, so at some point I will share why, but I still need to get some spruce before I can do that. But this world is not on large biomes, so I should be able to find some type of biome that will contain spruce. One of the reasons I find these trees to be harder to chop down is because the sapling rates. Yeah, with spruce trees I always get like 3 to 4 times as many saplings as I need, but I've gotten 2 dark oak saplings and I've chopped down 2 trees. Still waiting for them to despawn, but this tree is almost gone, and it takes 4 saplings to plant 1. I've gotten 2 from it. There we go, 3 from it. 4 from it, so I can regrow 1 of the 2 trees that I just chopped down. Overall, in the end, they are quite hard to farm because you just lose so many of the saplings. About maybe 1 in 3 trees, you'll get like 1 sapling or 2 saplings less than what you need to regrow them, and you'll start losing. It's quite annoying. So I'm heading back now. I've gotten about 1.5 stacks of logs. It's not a whole bunch, but it should be enough to start with. I'm gonna move my bed. And there was the again. I'm already starting to get out of food. Sorry, bunnies. Oh, you didn't give me any of your... You... Thank you. Thank you. No, you didn't give me it either. I mean, I know it's kind of cruel, but they're all over the place, and they're like the only mob that's really all over the place right here. I don't like killing bunnies, but when I do it in gruesome fashion. No. Okay. Come on, seriously, why have I only gotten 1? Thank you. Have to kill so many of them just to get 2 pieces of meat. That's absolutely sad. Okay, are there any other animals? I mean, I guess there's mushrooms. I can make mushroom stew. But the one thing I don't like about mushroom stew is that it does not stack. Okay. Let me just plop this in the furnace and take out the 20 iron, and it's not really worth using a piece of coal on that. So I'll store all this in here for the moment. Place the bed over here. So let's see. If I'm going to build with any of this, I'm going to need cobble. It might be good to smelt up some of this andesite as well. Okay, apparently that is not how you do anything with andesite. I think it's like, yeah. Okay. Even easier. Far easier. Okay. There's a full stack of polished andesite, plus maybe 2 stacks, 3 stacks of cobblestone, and a stack of dark oak wood. That should be a good start for some building. So let us up. It's night time, so we'll start this in just a moment. So since this is going to be a mining operations area, our housing is actually going to be over here. We're going to basically expand this entire valley. This isn't really a valley. What type of geological landform is this? I know a valley is kind of like mountains or hills on 2 sides. I do not believe... Well, valley I guess can be surrounded on all sides, so I guess this still is a valley. It's kind of like a cove, I guess. We could expand the hills up a little bit and make the water go all the way around it. It'd be really neat. I think we could do some pretty cool stuff with that. Need to chop down most of this forest. I don't really like the look of the dark oak trees. But we're going to start building up here over the ledge. Maybe eventually we'll take down this entire area and transform this into one big lake. That'll be a project, but it'll be a project that'll be interesting to do. So, this area is not really the flattest ever. But I guess it'll do. Might just have to mine out a little bit, and I'm gonna be so low on food. Like, I really need to get my food situated, but I also want to build at the same time, which really sucks. It's a conundrum. But yeah, I am sorry for the delay in the video, because it's been a while since I posted the last video, and when I couldn't find spruce, I searched for 5 hours trying to find it, and I got kind of burnt out of exploring Minecraft, and then I ended up having a bunch of other stuff going on. And I was trying to figure out exactly what I was going to do with this series, because if I couldn't find the spruce, I didn't know. I wanted to continue the world that I had, but I ended up not being able to figure out a way to effectively do that. I didn't want to cheat in spruce saplings, for example. That would be... although probably would have been accepted by most people, considering there was none for a massive area around. It still wouldn't have felt right, because I kind of want to eventually also make a house in a mega taiga, and if I have to travel 10,000 blocks to find one, I do not feel like that would be worth it. I don't feel like doing that much traveling. At least not for quite a significant amount of time. The shovel would make this so much easier. Let us start. So I have no idea what style we're going to be building here, so I'm just going to try to throw something together. Recently, a fun little thing that I found, someone on the build team for Cube Crowd told me about building in diagonals, which at first seemed really, really strange. But now that I've done it a few times, it's really, really awesome. That one's a little bit too high. For the moment. We'll raise it all up a little bit later. But yeah, all we do is we do this at a little bit of a slant, so 1 in and 3 to the side. And I'm going to do this, and 3 down, And the one thing that makes it a little bit strange is the fact that on the edges where you're going to have like windows, you need to actually have them flat, which doesn't fit the rest of the pattern. But it ends up working out because you see now we have 3, 3 here, and when we put this at an angle here, we're going to have a little bit of an issue. But when we bring this back over by one more block, it ends up lining up correctly. So it works out even though we have two sides that are actually even. And what we're going to end up doing is I'm also going to personally move this one in one just to make another place for a nice flat window. Now the actual house is going to be up on top. So what we're going to do, basically, the first thing we're going to do for this style is going to be placing some logs sideways. And I'm going to go with a pattern of 2 on this side and 1 on the other. So we're following on the outside, 2 on the outside, 1 on the inside. So 2 on the outside of the house and 1 on the inside. And we're going to continue this pattern across the entire thing. 2 on the outside, 1 on the inside. For this one, since it's equal, we'll just go like that. And there we go. We have the shape of our house. It looks a little bit strange at the moment, but do not fret. It will look pretty cool when we get this all done. So I'm just going to move a bunch of the cobblestone into my inventory, and right around wherever we have these logs here, we're just going to place the beginning blocks for our base. Now from the outside, that makes this look a lot more like a building. This is actually going to be a relatively small one, but we'll make some larger ones eventually. So now it's time to just get up here. And the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to move the corners out 1 block. So the corners go out 1 block farther than the rest of the build, just so that the floor appears actually kind of spacious, because at the current moment it would not have much room. If we were to build it and include the wall, we would have this amount of room in the inside. We want a bit more. We're greedy like that. So we're going to do exactly as I just did there. Now you can do this at any shape. I just decided to do the kind of classic L shape, where we have 1 sector, 1 sector, and 1 sector. And what I mean by that is if you have corners in a grid, this is the pattern I typically go in, but you could expand it farther and make it wrap around like this, so that you have a kind of U shape, or you could make it 2 by 2. As long as it has the same length of the sides on all sides, it will work. Like I've said before in other videos, do not take anything that someone says as being the official way to make something, because it may not work for you. So experiment. So we're going to kind of place some logs against the sides like this. Oops, not like that. Did I lose that? Yes, I did. I think. Maybe. No, maybe not. Okay. And I'm already running out of the dark oak that I brought, but I did not bring all of it, so let me go get the rest of it quickly, and I'll be right back. Okay. So, what I have just done is I went out and I actually found some cows just around the dark forest. They seemed to spawn there. I couldn't find a ton of them. Only got 9 raw beef, but they have a much higher chance of dropping the meat than the rabbits do, which is good. I also decided while I was waiting and looking for cows that I would chop down a few trees so I have a bit more of the wood than I would have otherwise. So it is time to go out here now that I have enough food to last me at least until the end of this episode, potentially, which I'm not even sure how long it has been so far. I will have to change. I'll have to check the recordings to decide how long it has been, which is going to be a little bit difficult because I've recorded almost all of it, including all of the grinding off camera. A lot of people don't know this, but when you're making videos, you actually most people will tend to record everything, even if you're not doing much at that point, because at any moment something could happen, and then you have one of those moments where you're like, oh, dang it, I wish I could actually have recorded that. Now, OBS does kind of have a feature where it can record the last 10 seconds of a video, but I have tried that in the past and it ended up being very glitchy, so I don't use it. So I'm going to get up on top of this thing and we're going to start to actually lay out the house here a little bit more. So I'm going to make each of these pillars 3 high, just like the ones down below on the bottom. There we go. So that is 3 high on all of those. And the next thing to do would be, typically I would want wool here. I'd be using wool. So what to do about that? That is a very interesting question that I have not actually planned out, because none of this is planned out. For now, I shall use cobblestone, and I will go through and change that later. So we're going to basically use where these walls were before as the new walls for this. Typically this would be wool, so whatever this looks like probably is not what it would normally look like. So okay, I just realized I did something a little bit differently here than usual. I'm going to actually build this one up here, and I'm going to tear this one down and build it off to the side here. That looks a little bit better. Okay. I was trying to figure out what was off, and that apparently was it. Of course, there's still a few things that seem to be a little bit off here. I think I just need to simplify this structure a little bit and go like that. Even though it doesn't quite fill the full diagonal, it should make everything look better. Now I need to get back on top again. But you kind of it seems like you probably understand the point by now at least, of at least how to make the things on a kind of slant. The detailing is where it gets tricky when building on an angle, because the detailing can get a little bit finicky, and oh great, it's going to be night time very soon. I did not bring my bed with me, so I'm going to have to go back potentially in the dark. I'm going to light this up a little bit, at least just to stop some mobs from spawning here, maybe. Hopefully, that'd be a good thing, I think. So that should be enough for now. And let's see if I can get home before too many things spawn and try to blow me up or shoot me or eat me brains. Eat me brains! Okay. Our base is right over here. Well, not our base, but our little mining operation, which hasn't really expanded into much yet. I do have some plans. Okay, here we are. Okay. That was a nice and well-deserved break. Now, what can I bring with me over there? Because I might need a little bit more than I have. The question I'm going to have now is what to put on the roof. And I'm definitely going to need to start collecting a whole bunch of wool, which means I'm going to want to get the sheep pen. But from a distance, the house is looking moderately okay. Guess we'll have to wait to see what the rest of the build comes out as before we do it too much. But so far I am liking the looks of the base. At least it has not been detailed and doesn't have any of that focus I was talking about, but it does have a shape, and a shape which we will be accentuating further in a bit. We might not be able to get all of the way to that point in this episode though, because we're probably running out of time as it is. If I go down inside here, our floor level would be right here. So let me fill this in first. Seems like that got missing. Okay. So I'm going to fill these in with logs. You can fill them in with solid blocks, or you can fill them in with the logs. I kind of like the look of the logs. It makes it look like a structural pillar. These can be removed. Well, yeah, they can be removed. Okay, I was just confused there for a second when I saw that. But the question I have now is what to do with this one, because this one's going to be a little bit of a stray. And I think I'm going to make... No, that one's going to go like that still. I'll see what this looks like from the outside. It might be a better place to judge that, because on the inside there's many things we can do to cover that up. I'm just going to make this a 2 wide pillar. Does not look too bad. Is this one exposed to the outside? Yes, it is. Okay. And then maybe I'll put the pillar right here. Just gotta do a few things to mask it, but we have a pretty neat house. The house does not need to look symmetrical at all. I mean, this is a style of medieval, so we can have some variance. And let's see. The curve of the house kind of goes here, so this would actually be a natural place to put a doorway. So, we can have a nice little entranceway right around here. And that kind of gets rid of our double log problem a little bit. So we'll have our entrance around this side. When we make it, it's... Let me just make another crafting bench. I don't feel like going all the way back there to get it. Just going to make a few cobblestone walls so we can do a small amount of detailing. Maybe some cobblestone slabs. And some cobblestone stairs. So we're going to do some detailing. We can't do a ton at the moment. But this block palette will definitely change. We'll be replacing this with a bunch of other types of blocks, which will hopefully look far better than what we are currently working with. But for the moment, it should work out pretty well. I'm just trying to think of what to do to detail this a little bit without too much. So we're going to want the stairs. And this might get in the way. So how can I do this? Because this is the way it's typically done. I think I know. this staircase is not going to be able to go like that. It is going to have to go to the other direction. It is going to go like this. Boom, 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 boom. Oops. Misclicks again. There we go. We have our nice little setup here. I'll put a stair under this one just to make it kind of symmetric. And maybe instead of that I will extend this one further out before going down. No, because it doesn't connect. Oh well. We'll have to deal with it being a little bit asymmetrical. But there we go, we do have a staircase. It does not look that great. We'll come and revisit this at some point. Now it is time to kind of poke out some windows, which will be right here. We'll poke one out right. This one's not on a straight angle. We'll have to put one here. Anywhere where we have the flat wall is where we decided we were going to have the windows when we built the exterior of this house. So those are our 3 windows for this house. It's already looking much more like a house at this point. Going to add a few support beams along the top, connecting these up. And when we add a roof to this place, it'll look nice and lively. And this is only one of a few houses we're going to make. But I think this will probably do it for today, because we're probably running out of time. I have been recording for about an hour right now to produce whatever amount of footage this is. So hopefully by the next episode I will have some more resources gathered up off camera, so that we can actually start to work on detailing this place a little bit better, make something that looks a little bit more attractive, hopefully replace this cobblestone with something that is better, either clay preferably, or wool. One of the two. So I will see you in the next episode. Sorry for the delay on this episode, but it is finally out. Building toolkit video will hopefully be out sometime soon as well. So, but I will see you in the next video I post. Shouldn't be too long. Goodbye.